Not one, but two really good modifications for the B9 S4. The first one is a weak point. The factory, it's not light. The factory version of this is very limiting, and I live in the type of climate that is even worse for this. And it's about to get a whole lot worse. So I might as well get ahead of the curve. Woo, she's big. This is from our good friends at ECS Tuning. They've been great to me. You guys run up their affiliate links that I recently got. I've not had them until very recent. And I'm able to put some extra money towards the videos because that recent activation of affiliate links on the old GTI videos and the RS3 videos. So I know moving forward, including the link for this part alone and more to come, without doing anything but just getting your parts, you guys are helping me out. That means the world. So let's get this new part out of here. Big old beefy front mount intercooler. Oh, this is a different part. I didn't know it was in this box. You're probably wondering, what is the quality of the ECS Tuning brand intercooler? It's actually a lot better in person than it looks online, to be frank. Got the nice logo here. All the fins look like they're in good shape. Got the tabs down here to mount it. The ones up top as well. I think there's another box. Found the other box. You know what's funny? I didn't even know about the ECS Tuning affiliate program until I was on the phone with New England Pete, if any of you watch him. His Golf R series, and now he just got an RS3. Congrats, Pete. But I think with the amount that's coming in so far from just activating the links within the last month or so, I could afford a payment on a TTRS probably. I gotta get the down payment together, but that's a dream car of mine. So, you know, imagine if I would have had that all this time, all these years. Probably could have saved up for a down payment on a TTRS and gotten that. So I'm pulling out the Chargepipe. Does anyone else love the TTRS like I do? I got Chargepipe kit with it. Did I already say that? I was a little bit worried that I'm gonna be mad at myself for wanting to install aftermarket charge pipes, but I think it'll be worth it. I really do. I think it'll be rewarding. Also got some different goodies in here. Throttle body flange, carbon stuff, spacers, wheel bolts. Gonna go back in the garage. Storage. That feature is kind of annoying, but also kind of cool every time I walk by it in close quarters. So with the kit, you have to have a throttle body flange that has an O-ring on it. Here we have little large charge pipes. I'm impressed with the packaging. Nice wrinkle black coated charge pipe. Ooh, sensor location. This is nice. Mounting hardware and the other charge pipe. We're gonna keep this messy part, all the nuts and bolts and clamps off the table for now. It's a pretty nice kit. The other upgrade in this video, stock one is so boring compared. I'll have links for all these parts in the description. Boom. RS4, which they don't have in the States, style grill. You got a cover in case you want that for like a Euro plate. You don't need that. These are made in China. No way around it, which it's fine. Have some plastic pieces. We also have this small box I opened. I chose, it actually comes with the RS4 badge, which we're not gonna put on. Why would I do that? It's on RS4. And then the Quattro letters to go on the bottom right here. You can try and do that real clean. And then we have the chrome silver Audi rings. I want this car to look real classy. And like that. I mean, you can picture it's gonna look dirty in a clean way, if you know what I'm saying. Man, I don't know about putting this Quattro on. I have to look how to spell it. Dude, how do you even spell what? Why is Quattro hard to spell all of a sudden? Here, you can spell with me. Here's how it goes. TT. The R, you're like, huh? It goes like this. You see what I'm saying? I'm tweaking. There we go. It's like the kids version. Quattro. How am I gonna get that on perfectly straight? I don't know, but we will figure that out, my friends. Is there anything in this package that I need to worry about? That would go there if you had to have a front plate, which we don't need that. These 3 screws go with it. Right here is the distance detectors. But yeah, I don't know what those are. Looks like these are to pop in to be dummies if you don't have the sensors. And this is for a centered camera if you had one, which this mine does not. Nice little look here on the factory grill. I'll cover it up in the middle, missing this cover here. We can see the little baby intercooler up in there. These are those sensors we're gonna transfer over. We're gonna open this up. There's a crash bar behind here, which we might have to paint black to make it look nice, which will be no big deal. But you can picture that. Then you come over here and you got this aggressive, nice RS style. And this is quite the upgrade. Let's measure this. How big is our core? 3.5-inch core. Look how tall it is. This is gonna make such a big difference from the engine just losing power, doing pulls, launches, canyon driving. If you don't know what an intercooler does, all the air coming out of the turbo is hot. It forces it through the intercooler that's cooled by the ambient air, cools down those intake air temperatures, and then it goes into your engine. When you have a way bigger intercooler to cool it down, you can cool more air faster, keeping the overall temps down. Your car's overall happier. In Arizona, bigger intercoolers are everything. So if you live in a hotter climate of any sort, it's gonna be one of the best mods you can do. Honestly, these are banger mods. Super function, super aesthetic. This is gonna be a good video. Sit back, relax, let's get to wrenching. To begin the install, we're gonna get the car in the air to take the front wheels off. If you don't have a lift like I do, you can easily throw this car up on jack stands, just the front end, put your parking brake on. Don't let the lift discourage you. I just have this because I do so many videos here and I like to save as much time as I can to get more videos out for you, so don't let that hold you back. Get some torques out of here. T25. Hit the outsides of the front bumper off. Pull this back a little bit. Now that you can see in here, right inside we've got a plastic clip. It's a little dry rotted, so it just snapped. So I'm gonna get in here with my favorite O-ring seal tool. Let's see if I can get it out. Nope. There we go. Okay, that comes loose. That's exactly what I want. I see this part comes loose. Cool. Hop around to the other side. And this one doesn't even have it in. So this is free. Now we need to go up. Pull these off. T25 as well. Cool. I'm organizing this in my bolster. These trays can go in and out of stock, so when they are, you want to grab one. I'm gonna go ahead and pop the hood. I need to get this off. There's a button on the top side. My fingers can't quite push this button in enough, so I always use a plastic tool. Pull that off, and then I need to get this cover out. Pop it up from the front, and then just slide it out. I'm gonna put that there. With that there, I'm gonna pull the bumper off. So this car was missing it, but all the way up in here, there should be a T30, T25. You're gonna have to get that out with a long extension for the bumper to come off the car. The previous owner did not put that back, so it made it easier for me to get off, but make sure you get this out before you pull your bumper off. First time doing this, so just being super careful. Looks like I might have some Torx up top, that'll help. I don't know if I need to remove these or not. Yeah, that helps. So these Torx up top, I want to remove those. Okay, the bumper then comes off. There should be a plug up here somewhere. One single harness for the whole thing, I believe. Alright, cool. Need to do a couple things. One of them is getting this guy off. Looks like there's just some clips. I want to take this off right here. 7 mil. Get it nice and loose. Hop over on this side. Same thing. Let's get this charge pipe off this side. Squeeze it and pull. That came off quite easily. Same thing over here. This is a harder pipe. Just pull it off. Get this rubber gasket off of here. Okay, cool, that's free. Up in here, you'll see a tab that you gotta press in for this shroud piece, and then you can pull it out. Oh, whoa. There's one down here as well. This tab right here, you really gotta get something to push up in there and then pull it out. Now that this is free, you can kinda pull it through. Driver side check. Let's get this shroud. Top one pressed in. Came out real easy. By the headlight up here. That one came out sweet. That top one I just pressed in with my finger up in here. To remove the intercooler, we need to pinch this right here. So you gotta push on the top one and up on the bottom. That's tough. Maybe let's do this. If I come in from the side with some needle nose, lightly hold that there. I'm pulling back. Okay, I got that one released. I gotta get something to hold it in there. Okay, I think that'll hold. Let's do the same thing over here. Put my hand on behind the intercooler. Perfect. Get that side to hold, release this with my hand right here, and then it'll pop out. Now this should just slide out. You can see this tiny little baby. It's not too thin, but it's pretty small. There's not a lot of area to hold air to cool it down, so we're gonna maximize that. It's gonna be huge for the car. On to the next part, which is getting rid of this silicone pipe, which I see a 7 millimeter up in here. I believe I can get to. So it's pretty much physically impossible to get the camera in here, but, oh, you know what? I got this. See my fingers right here? We follow that through, it'll take us right to that bolt. I'm optimistic this long one could get up in here. Okay, it's not quite doing it, so I have another idea. Get this pretty long flathead screwdriver, stick it through here. Oh, this is working great. We're already loose. Boom, a little bit of oil soot, but nothing concerning. Beautiful. Need to lower the car down so we can do the work up top. Let's get the mass airflow sensor out of here. Disconnect it. Then you twist it down, pull it out. I want to put this somewhere safe so it doesn't get dirty. Then I'm going to take the 7 millimeter, loosen this charge pipe on the throttle body. Wiggle this. Twist. Slowly pulling this thing off. I'm kind of using the bottom side too as well. Then this should slide out. Making sure I'm not taking anything with it. There are some wires in there you should be careful of. Alright, this came off. The new kit came with this throttle body piece. So let's go ahead and get that off. Is this a T30 or 25? T30. These screws actually hold the entire throttle body on, so don't be alarmed when this all comes off. Let's go ahead and pull out these coolant lines. Everything out of here. Just pop them out of their place so those don't get broken. Yeah, we need some power on this. One, the bottom corner, you kind of have to move that wire out of the way. Here's the next one. And this should come out. There we go. That's the part you want to come off. Careful with this O-ring. That can just rest there now. We're gonna want to get this coolant line clip off of here. I'm gonna get a tool. This clip was on the corner of this. I just put the corner of it on my toolbox and then supported the other side with my tool, and then I just pulled this down and this slid off and didn't break. Use what you got. Here's the new ECS one. I'm gonna push our coolant line mount on it like that. This has an O-ring, so it can go like this. Then we can take our bolts, screws. This one started. And now it's all kind of holding in place. I'm gonna do an X pattern. Gotta make sure you don't pinch those wires. Then the other two are easy. Let's check these with my ratchet by hand. Snug, snug. Okay, I feel good about that. Move our MAP sensor over here. In the kit, we'll have our straight coupler that goes on. ECS tuning, logo facing up. Now, there's 3 clamps that are bigger. We want to use those here, 2 of them, and then 1 down below. I'm gonna slide this on like so, and then get this one handy here. Let's go ahead and let's put this aside for a sec. Let's snug up this one. 10 mil. Holding it right in the perfect position. Okay, I'm happy with that, just snug. So now, the charge pipe, I'm gonna leave my bolt in there. I'm gonna lock it up and then grab it. You know what? Let's be smart. I'm gonna take this out for the MAP sensor. Back where I was going. Kinda just gotta force it just a little bit. And then let's go up top again. This ready to rock, plenty loose. Pull up our charge pipe, maneuver it so it can slide in the coupler. Looks great. Now, let's go ahead and snug this one up, not tight. Okay, to be determined where its final place that it lives. That looks great. We're gonna get our charge pipe ready to go for right here. We're gonna put our clamp on there, slide it up in place. The ECS logo goes that way, and you gotta slide it up in here. This is gonna be a pain, so let me get a trick. Silicone spray in the can. Linked on my Amazon list. Harmless stuff. Put it on the inside. I'm gonna try and get it on this charge pipe. Oh, did I get it? Oh, I got it, I got it. Oh, no. Okay. Oh, it's on. It's on. That seem right? If I want it like that, accessible, do I want it like that? So I'm gonna push this clamp around. Hope this wasn't a mistake. Oh, seems to be loosened. Okay, I've got it in the right spot. Now I'm just trying to get this clamp up. It looks pretty good. See if I can get. Wait, is that bigger than a 10? Okay, so these smaller clamps, looks good, looks good. Don't want any boost leaks. This is a 12. Smaller clamps are 12, so coming from this side, I'm gonna hold my hand on the clamp while I tighten it. Look at it now, snug. I like. Go in for round 2. No boost leaks, fam, no boost leaks. I like how that's looking. Okay, you can see that gold bolt head. That's the 12 that I was torquing down. We verify up in there, that's all tight, handles, wiggles okay. Now what we can do is get our other hose clamps ready to go. So one of the smaller ones, I'll loosen it, get this ready to go. Perfect spot. There's a coupler that goes here on the driver's side. This adapter takes this bigger charge pipe diameter and makes it a little smaller for the actual intercooler. This is the larger hose clamp of the two. Okay, get one of the smaller hose clamps, slide it on, so those are ready to go. We will be painting this black. We have the new intercooler, so what we need to do is slide it up. Get it around this little post. Got it around both of those. Let's get it into these tabs on the bottom. Radiator support. Sweet. Okay. That's looking good. Before I tighten these, I want to get the bracket up top first. All the brackets and everything in the kit come like this. And we got these bolts for the top. So the long ones have a little bit bigger washers. Those ready to go. Get my T30 out. The bracket's gonna slide in here like this. I need to take this out. This is a 4mm Allen head. I get it in there loose. Get this one set up as well. Okay, now we can push the intercooler back into its place. You put a washer on one of the shorter bolts included in the kit. So I need to push. Okay, that one's not in there straight, but it's holding this side. So I'm gonna go ahead and take the chance. Come over here, thread it in all nicely by hand. Love that. Then I can come back over here safely, undo this one. Now this one can go in by hand. Let's go ahead and tighten these up. Like a 13? Yeah, it's a 13. I like to be careful in these situations going into the intercooler. I'm just gonna get it snug. Those helicoils only hold so much. Boom. So I'm gonna go ahead and hose clamp this. Need a really snug fit. These clamps can be deceiving, but I like how that's connected. I like that placement. Feels really strong. Okay, let's get this one on now. Looks like that's a 10. All right, we need to head up top. These are tight, this is tight, the one up top is tight. Now we can head up top. Make sure this is still looking good. I like that. I like that. Feels nice. Let's get that MAP sensor in there. I'm gonna put the sensor back in here. It's got an O-ring, so we're gonna softly massage that in. I'm gonna plug it in. Push the gray tab in, then twist it down. Put that bolt in. This is also a 4mm Allen head. Just gonna snug this up carefully. Perfect. That's snug. That was way easier than I was expecting. I love those unexpected installs. One minor detail up top, we can snap in our coolant lines right here. All right, those are all in their happy places. This is important. The grill that we're putting on, you see the crash bar through it. So we're gonna paint this black. Temperature sensor down there, disconnected it really easy and got it out of there. All you gotta do is grab it from this side and pinch these tabs in and then it'll slide out. I'm lucky there's no wind tonight, so I really don't have to tape too crazy. Satin black. Had this at the house already. Well, I had the perfect amount left. Nice satin black, so it's subtle. Let this dry, get rid of this. In the meantime, let's work on the grill. Time to do the grill. So let's pull off everything we need to. On the factory one, I'm gonna pull this gray tab, push it down. Pull the sensor out there. Same thing over here. Yeah, this stuff can be brittle, so I'm gonna be careful. Now I got T25s everywhere. Making my way around town, hitting all these 25 Torx bits. This looks like a piece that I should probably put back. So there's a wire that makes its way around here to pull these clips off. Oh, I got a T25 right there. Let's see what I can start popping off. Looks like this can be pulled off from the top. Start using all kinds of clips. Good thing I got a million of these things. Alright, this one can stay here. This one can stay here. Okay. Both of these sensors are super important. So I'm gonna apply pressure. So you push the tabs towards the sensor. Well, actually, this can stay in here. You just need to pull the tabs on the outside of the sensor and get this sensor out. This goes into the new. So if we head over here, it's already got them set up. All I gotta do is just press them in. Looks good. Now we just need to get the actual grill out. So this last harness clip, using a plastic pry tool, we really need to get it out of here. These things are really aggressive. They need some persuasion, but they are tough. So this is completely free. Okay, just gotta pull right here at the top. There we go. This will come out. Let's set this back up. Okay, let's get the new one. Hook up the bottom piece first. Okay, this is good to pop these in up here. Now we can start working all this into place. Okay, just kind of maneuvering it around, feeling good. So I'm gonna plug these sensors in next. Sensors are in. Okay, got that center one in. Let's go out here. The grill really starts to take shape to the bumper now. Screw it into the bumper, so don't do too much torque. I have a really good feel for this with this gun, so it doesn't scare me. Woo! Hoo, hoo. It's looking good, okay. We have a little itty bitty bunch of screws that come in the kit. I'm gonna get these out with my bare hands. I'm using an eyeglass screwdriver. It's so small. Pop it through. It only goes one way. Screw it in from the front. Okay, get my chrome badge. Looks like the outside has some pressure on it. Carefully snapped that in. Woo! Hoo, hoo. This looks good. That's a good looking grill. So I thought for sure we couldn't run the S4 because it was different, but they actually have this that just goes on like this, so we can choose. Is that the move? Directly to the left of the logos. Yeah, it looks like right here. Boom. Last thing we gotta do, get the wiring situated. Just goes on all these clips. And she's ready to go back on the car. Welcome to the night show. It's that time of year in Arizona where it's colder at night. Well, it's always colder at night. It's that time in Arizona where I didn't put the ducts back in. Frick. This has gotta go over here. It's not rocket science, you just gotta finagle these back in here. They're more flexible than you think. Ducts are in. Get the bumper hanging out here. Now I need to get the wiring plugged back in. I think I need to lower the car a little bit more. Looks good. These top corners like to go in first. The air duct over here doesn't like to fit perfect. Got a problem with the ducting over here. bit of a tight fit with those air ducts going back in, but we're in good shape. Wow, this bumper fits tight in a good way. It's impressive. Looks like I can't fit that piece in. It's either too deep. Start with centering it on this first, then slide it up in there. There we go. Beautiful. Bingo. Something I don't love is the position of these. So I'm gonna rotate it down a little bit. I like that better. Feels like flat out disrespect. Fire. Let me give you a little look. Oh my goodness gracious. Oh, what's next? Oh my, is that a big front? Oh my, this grill just give me a look back. Oh my goodness. Just the painted crash bar just blending right in. No front plate whackness anymore. Alright, hold on. It's gonna be dusty. Or any tools? Negative. It's gonna be dusty freaking boof hood. Oh my goodness. Good grief. She's looking so dressed up for me. Holy. Throw the wheels on, test drive, and give her a wash. Okay, will she start? Looks even better on the ground. In the process of making sure that everything was running smoothly, at full boost it sounded like a harmonica. I should have recorded it last night, but I was just like, I'm gonna get this figured out. At full boost, sounded like someone was playing harmonica like I'm saying, and I was like, I gotta take the front bumper off and everything again, and it's just gonna be a bummer. But actually, I had the smallest gap right here, so I repositioned this absolutely perfectly, and lo and behold, the harmonica sound was coming from there. I didn't have to take the front bumper off. Got lucky. Let's give the S4 a little bit of a wash. And then we're gonna link up with Hudson again with his DJI Osmo Pocket 3. I'll leave linked in the description with the ND filters. I'll put the settings down below, and you get to see the before and after of this new Grille intercooler setup. On the road, it looks awesome. It's not as organized as it could be right now. It looks pretty bad. But this is when I like to have a dual hose setup. I don't always like to use my pressure washer. I like the shower when the car's not that dirty and it's just dusty. This is just ultra satisfying to me. Need some tire shine, a little wipe down, maybe a little bit of Cerakote touch. Water just beads right off this thing though from the previous Cerakote. Get the bronze back. It's a little bit covered in brake dust. Really need some black bolts. I also sold my camera gimbal and I'm picking up a DJI RS3 today. I've been waiting for one to pop up for the right price. People just be holding those to a standard, even with the new one coming out, the RS4. So I found that Best Buy had an open box. I get a good kickback for cash on my Apple credit card. So I was like, 415 bucks instead of like 450 used, and I get the cash back and the Best Buy points. I'm gonna go snag that today. So we'll also get some beauty shots of the car with that, and we'll get me setting it up for the first time and all that. Should take a blower to this. Thinking about getting the little stubby tip for this thing. I didn't think the wheels were that dirty, but they really are. And I really like that Suds Lab wheel cleaner. Just use some of this real quick. This is a backwards car wash. Once I looked close, this color of wheel really blends in the brake dust, but it drives me crazy. I haven't washed the car in a while. Let's see what this will do. Chemical only in the water hose. It did pretty good. I feel like these upper corners really need some love. I'm gonna spray all the wheels now. looking pretty fresh. Give it some help to dry off the tires. Then I'm gonna use my Cerakote tire shine. I'm gonna do a touch up on the whole car of the Rapid Ceramic paint sealant. Shake it up. I like to wet my towel. And then just get a little bit on the surface. And then just paint it on real even. On this one section I'm deciding to do. Flip over to the dry side, buff it off to leave a real even shine. Make this blue pop. Done with this, moving on to the tire shine. Give her a nice shake. Get our applicator wet. Doesn't take too much. And paint it on. And come in and push it into the letters and everything. Let's take a look at the before. This one looks really bright and dull. Want to get it some deep, rich black. This applicator, it's easy to get in that crevice between the wheel and the tire. It's really nice. Get up in there. Boom. It'll dry and it'll stay like that. Love this stuff. And it's thin, so it doesn't sling everywhere off the back. Nothing like a little store pickup. Oh, this is exciting because I've had gimbals since they came out, and I decided to ball out on the RS4 because I need the amount of weight it can hold because I have a big lens like this. And then let's check out together how you can quickly swap to vertical filming. The camera nerd inside of me is geeking, so I want to take you through this with me. They've really gotten the boxes small since the old days, and the device in general is small. I borrowed my friend's RS3 when I went to visit Brock when we did the 917 replica stuff, and it is amazing how well that thing just works, traveling with it, etc. The size of it for how good it works. This has a large payload, like I had mentioned earlier, so this is exciting because I can put basically any lens that I own on here and it won't freak out. I need to pop this open and get it on the charger. Got all these cables. A nice stand. Looks like the grip, which I believe is the battery also. Looks like it's better than a doornail. You just select the plate and the gimbal itself. It's fun to watch DJI come out with a gimbal back in the day, and then, or not a gimbal, well they did gimbals and then the drones, and I had all that, and it's made its way to microphones that are crazy now. Well, this is different, this disconnects like this. And these things all lock up so it doesn't flop everywhere. If you're wondering how much these cost, they're around $600 with tax. All things considered, the original Ronin I had that's nowhere near as good as this was like $850 used. So they've gotten way better and they're cheaper. Let's plug this thing in and we'll test it out. Green light, come back in an hour.
To adjust the center of gravity, move the lever on the mounting plate.
I think I'm in good shape. Let's turn it on for the first time. Give you a little view of yourself. You can pan down and up. I can go selfie mode. Take her back around town. This thing can handle the weight of this 24-70 from the side. Look at that. No problems. That's what my last one had problems with. And then I can bob this thing around with this trigger. Then you double click the back button to recenter it. Let's go shoot the car, shall we? Oh, I missed having one of these. I gotta get this off. This is residue left over from duct tape when we put a mic right here, so don't worry about that. But having this 24-70 on the gimbal really allows me to get up close on something like this clamp with the ECS tuning logo. I can maybe get something in the foreground. Ooh. 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 That's nice. All right, let's get some Aldi tight shots first. And having one of these higher payload gimbals allows you to maneuver the screen, and you're just not freaking out the gimbal a lot of the times when you're changing the focal length or the screen around. I also got to remember I'm shooting at such a high focal length that it's gonna feel very twitchy. That's a good shot. That should be good. After playing with the app, I think I figured it out. So now I can do this really long shot and pan down super smooth, have the whole car. Oh, it can be a little better than that. Let me go back up, pull down. Oh, that's a nice shot. Let me see if I can get a front 3/4. Do a little pan to the right. Oh, that looks sick. Do a little walk in. Oh, oh. Let's see how big that intercooler is. The original S4 logo has this little gray spot on it that's a little bit different, as you can see right here, but just one of those things that only you would notice. And then that silver bolt right here behind that honeycomb, I could definitely have painted that black. That would be nice. But overall, it's crazy how this grille makes the car look 5 years newer. I've been debating right here, do I put the Quattro logo on the bottom or do I not? I'm kind of gonna wait till we get the carbon on there to see if we should do it. Let's get a nice juicy shot of the wheels and the brakes. Nice S logo popping out. Gosh, these gray covers look not ideal. You can really see the gray on blue at this lighting. Take a look at the tires. Get the rear 3/4. This is where I just want to hide the Prestige rear diffuser. I can't wait till this is gone. You can see up close. Just not the vibes. The rest of the car doesn't have any of it. If you don't remember or don't know, the previous owner swapped that on and then sold his other parts or some story like that, he told me. Then we have this random black emblem, black S4, and the carbon ducktail. We just need to get the aesthetics department figured out real soon because it's driving me nuts. Looks so bad. Like, this car looks so good, but so bad at the same time. It's really throwing me off, as it should you. Really, the only thing that looks good is the front of this car right now. It doesn't even look as crazy as it could. Nice shot backing up right now. There's you guys. Dive in. I never really noticed until I took the bumper off how much it concaves in right here on the headlight. It's kind of cool. And I think it's unique to this car, at least that I've noticed. All right, let's go wide and get some dope wide shots. I feel like it's like dub edition shot right here. Just it's like the VIP section where you're trying to get luxury and fast. Oh, the wheels look cool with a shot like that. Kind of a crane. Flip it back over, double click. What else are we missing? I feel like I got some good stuff. You need to get the center of the car, center focus. I want to get some interior shots. This is when I can just stick it in here and then use the joystick to really pull off some extra shots. I feel like I'm exhausting my shots. That's really it. Could definitely do a little bit better balancing, but it feels good to have one of these back and you guys get the benefit. One thing I want to do for you is get some nice wired XLR mics like Devon Nimola. and get some cool driving shots so you can hear the intake, the exhaust at the same time. But it's probably $800 in audio equipment if I want to do it the way I know how. And my brother is a musician audio junkie, so he already has some ideas on how to make the exhaust note not peak and the intake noise and all that. So that's something to look forward to in the future. When you use those affiliate links, stuff like that, I use that money to buy things like that. These new ones, when you shut them off, they lock up. That's so nice. I have my access port here for the Subaru. I am still working on that next video. This is probably the 12th or 15th revision on the map for tuning, so we're getting there. Not posting this video on this car until it's on the freeway driving. So if you're wondering how long and when, that's when, and when that happens, I don't know. I'm working every day towards it. I just got the seat belts in and such, so I'm safe driving it, so we're getting close. Let's talk about why you would spend your hard-earned money on an intercooler. So what we're gonna do is go into 034 SPI app, smartphone interface, I believe. So we're gonna go to diagnostics, we're gonna go to engine, we're gonna go to view data, OBD view. So you're gonna see the ambient air temperature, which is the temperature outside that is reading right in front of the intercooler on that sensor that we messed with. Then we have the intake air temperature sensor. Then I'll leave boost there because when the boost builds, it builds temperature and what gear it's in. So I'm gonna get into this and make it really simple, but let's pay attention to one thing. So I'm sitting still and the car's been heat soaking while idling. And so let's pay attention to how quickly the intake air temperature that's in orange cools off, which we wanna get it back to as close as ambient temperature as possible. So the two gauges on the top, we want them to be as close to the same as possible. It's never gonna be the same because the turbocharger creates heat in the system, but you can see it's cooling off. I'm just cruising around the neighborhood at 25 miles per hour, but we really need to get some airflow through that intercooler to really see a difference. I'm speeding up and it's dropping. Ambience at 100, intake air temperature. So that's the temperature of the air that's going into the engine. So it's after the intercooler. So it's climbing down. Let's back up. So what is the point? While this cools down, we get some better numbers here. Why does this make such a big deal? Why does an intercooler create more power more consistently? So the number one killer of an engine, besides bad tuning, speaking loosely here, is heat. Heat is the enemy. Heat creates knock, is just heats everything. And you have, when an engine's running, you have air, fuel, and combustion. Fuel doesn't have really a variable, really, depending on how hot it is outside. But the biggest difference is the density of the air depends on the temperature of it. The colder it is, the more dense it is, the more aggressive timing, the more power, the more PSI safely your engine needs. So it's important to, I'm gonna get techie here, but track with me. What are we at here right now? So we're heading down the road. I'm in boost a little bit. Our intake air temperature is dropping because we're getting air through that intercooler. So it's looking nice. My car is reading 99 degrees outside. The intake air temperature sensor ambient is reading the exact same out front. So we're about 20 degrees over ambient temperature, which is not bad at all. It's can it hold that, and how quickly does it get back to that depends on your intercooler setup. So let's circle back. When you're trying to make horsepower, this is important to know. You'll notice that when your intake air temperatures are hotter, that means that your timing is going to be lower. So the naturally aspirated part of your engine is actually making less horsepower. So how do you use a turbocharger to get a motor that is running lower timing to make more power? Because without a turbocharger, the only way to make more power is to up the timing. You can only up the timing depending on how much knock it runs into, and that threshold is determined upon the temperature of the cylinder and the air going into it, the density of the air and everything. So it's this big like mumbo jumbo math equation in your head, but let's keep it simple. So with a turbocharged engine, what you can do is that when you start to run out of timing and your horsepower is stuck low from your engine, you can turn up the boost and it's going to force more air in there, and it's going to create that horsepower that you were lacking because it's hot outside. But what if you use timing and boost from the turbocharger? Well, when it's cold, your engine will make the target torque levels and everything else like that. It'll make the target power it's trying to make. The computer's saying, hey, make this much torque, please, right now. And when it's cold outside and when your intake air temperature is cold, it takes less boost to get to that target. Everything with computers and tuning and everything is like, hey, I want to make this much torque. I need the numbers to look like this. And the car does everything it can to make math calculations to get to that target. So if it's saying, hey, I want to make this target torque, it's either going to say, hey, I can use a lot of timing and I don't need much because my air is cold and I can use a little bit of boost to get there. Or when it's hot, it'll say, man, my engine is knocking, let's lower the timing so it doesn't knock, and then let's turn up the boost to get us to that target. It's one of the two options usually, and you'll see that when you start to look at live data. So with the idea in mind of, hey, if my air going into the engine is as cold as it possibly can, that means I have the best case scenario to use the least amount of boost pressure and the most amount of timing in the proper equation of both to make my car run really, really happy, low stress, optimally. Well, the factory intercooler is so small that the metal and everything and the heat wafting off the engine, it gets heat soaked really, really quickly. And once that thing is heat soaked, it has a really hard time cooling air down before it enters the engine. So when you upgrade to a bigger intercooler that flows better, that has more space, more capacity to take that charged air temperature, the charged air is air that's been charged up from the turbocharger. It's pressurized. It goes through the intercooler. Air from the outside world goes through the intercooler, and those fins and everything cool that air down, and then it exits the intercooler into the engine. So back to our numbers, with all of that in mind, I tried to explain it as simply as possible. If you can get your intake air temperatures with a turbo car, because it's inevitable, your air going into your engine with a turbo is going to heat up because the turbo creates heat, because it's ran by the exhaust pressure, that's hot. Then you got the engine wafting heat all over that thing and the pipes and all that, it's gonna get hot. So if you can keep your intake temperatures 10 to 20 degrees above ambient temperature on a turbo car, you're doing really, really well. Now, if it builds above that, is that bad? Absolutely not. Then the question lies, how quickly can my intercooler get that intake air temperature back down to the right temperature? Because as your intake air temperature increases overall, your power is going to start to dwindle, especially when it's really hot here like in Arizona. And this is a weak point on the B9S4. So when we upgrade this bigger intercooler, we're going to cool the air down faster in real time and in between us romping on the car, heavy throttle, heavy exhaust flow, heavy heat buildup. So right now we're at 13 degrees above ambient air temperature. Now I'm just going to start cruising. So we're at 40 miles an hour, 46 miles an hour, 50 miles an hour. We're gonna get it down to, what are we at? 11 degrees above temperature. Okay, so I'm gonna put it in sport. I'm gonna put it in manual. I'm gonna downshift. We're gonna get this thing all peppy, ready to go. Flooring it. Really putting the power down, building the heat. I'm gonna start romping on it. So it's just hovering right around between 10 to 20 degrees above, building a lot of boost right now, a lot of heat. Should climb up a little bit, but then I let off right away and it's dropping back down to 112. You can see in real time what's going on. Now it's going to be more aggressive and more obvious when I'm in a canyon type situation or a track situation where you're constantly on boost, constantly off boost. So this upgrade specifically, this intercooler is a large upgrade. So I am not shocked at all. It's staying in front of, just romping around town, just a little bit on gas, off throttle, It'll get really hot when you're sitting still, but it cools off like that because the surface area is so much larger. You got air going through the front. It's just a really, really good upgrade for this car. So I hope that sums up the importance of how the ambient air temperature and the intake air temperature on a turbocharged car is something that you should pique your curiosity and you could pay attention to, and know that, yeah, your car is gonna build heat from the turbo and the intake air temperature is gonna go up, but how much up and how quickly does it cool back down when you're off throttle and such. It's something fun to watch, and it's rather impressive when you have an upgrade like this. There's a little stretch of road up here. I'm gonna try and get it to heat up a little bit. You can watch this live. I can't look at the phone and drive. Let me know in the comments below if you learned something from that little bit of a talk and if that was clear and made sense. And if it didn't, I'll circle back on it in the next video and do a better job. If you want to see what this looks like and watch the live data while we're in the canyon, let me know as well in the comments if you're curious about that. With this ECS tuning setup, I'll leave it linked in the description, as well as the grill with a couple different options for you. You can get a black emblem, chrome on the outside, depending on the colors of your car. You can choose one that suits your build best. In regards to those links, the best way to support the channel is to use them down below, and if you want to get tuning for your car, you can use CarmaSpeed as well with the links in the description. That way you have access to this app, you can monitor data live, tune your car with a stage 1 flash or above, and really get some power out of your car to make it much more fun to drive. But those links are always the best way to support the channel, so we can keep making more content like this to explore our fun with cars and stay curious. Always know that there's more detailed installs on the CarmaSpeed channel down below, as well as my bonus channel. Those will always be linked in the description. You can find them and check on what I'm uploading other places. If you want to see the next episode modifying this S4, check it out right here. And if you want to see me compare 3 detailing kits from Walmart, I'll leave the video right here.